A couple of questions. In terms of creating this budget, right? What is the budget that I should look for in terms of advertising? Now, advertising goes against my kind of the root and the soul that I'm putting in there, right? But I understand that it's about my voice being reached to many people. And that's what my intention is, that I want people to hear it, right? Why do I want to get to number one? It's not because I want to be that, top one podcast, but because that's when more and more people will start getting value from it and listen to it, and I'll get in front of them. So that's the purpose, right? So I understand that I have to put in. So what kind of budget are we looking at? And my second question is, initially at least, is there any like giveaway or something that we can plan now? Very interestingly, that Go Giver is like my Bible. My first case on the podcast show was Bob Burke, the co-author of Go Giver.
Awesome.
So I'm actually giving 10 copies of Go Giver, signed copies by him as a giveaway. So do you have any other recommendations in terms of, organically first and like the budgeting wise, and how long should I be doing this advertising?
I would say that the length of advertising you should just focus on doing a year or two. So actually, interestingly enough, my team, we do paid ads for clients, and we have two different lengths of contracts, and it's 1 year and 2 year. Because if with the longevity, you're more likely to keep listeners, you're more likely to stay in front of them and trigger those 5 things where they subscribe, they download, they listen, they rate and review, and they keep coming back. If we're staying in front of them for a year or two, then you're more likely to trigger those algorithms. So that's my recommendation, is a year or two. The monthly budget, it would be wherever you can. A lot of companies, they say, we're going to put out X amount of budget after the company, we're not necessarily talking about a podcast, but after the company has been around for a couple of years, what they try to do is it's like 20% of gross revenue, for example, is one idea that a lot of people do for marketing. So I'm going to make, let's just say, $1 million a year. I want to at least put in 200,000 in paid ads. So that would be somewhere close to 18-ish grand a month, something like that. I'm not typing it out, but give or take, it's a little less than 20,000 a month. And that would be a decent budget. But when we're thinking of these things, we need to think also of startups, because your podcast is brand new and you don't have the revenue yet to do 20%, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't put anything in. If you want to have a successful business, you have to spend money to make money. In the beginning, you have to start putting it out so that you can get it back. And so my suggestion would be, and whatever you can do for at least a 12-month period, if that to you is 1,000, awesome, do 1,000 a month. If that to you is 100 a month, do that. If that to you is 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 10,000, 20,000, 80,000 a month, then you do that. And then you just keep pouring into it, and you will get all of that back. It just feels a little bit risky. It feels like you're jumping off of you're taking a leap of faith, if you will.
Right.
So I would recommend just whatever you can do for a sustainable, at least a year. And for my company, when we do paid ads for people, we have a couple of packages. One of them is a little over 2,000 a month, and the other one's a little over 4,000 a month. And so those are the 1 year and 2 year contracts that people can do. And what they do is we promise to get you in, for the lower one, ranking in the top 10% in the world, or we give you a big check. And we do it for the higher one, ranking in the top 1% in the world, or we give you a big check. So I wouldn't call it a guarantee. At least my attorney doesn't want it to be called a guarantee, but we do actually write you a check, a big check, if it doesn't happen within that year. So that helps there be less risk for a client, because they know that, hey, if this doesn't work out, I still get all the value of the marketing. I might not be top 1%, but I'll be top 2%. And I would have never been there if I didn't put fuel in the tank.
True.
So I would say just as high as you can for a year. And I would put it to the things that I mentioned in doing it the way that we already talked about.